published, 2:38 EDT, the 21st of May 2018, updated, 8:38 EDT, the 21st of May 2018. Community champions invited by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry into the grounds of Windsor Castle to see them marry are cashing in by selling their free commemorative gift bags on eBay for £1,000 or more. The canvas bags inscribed with the couple's initials were given to the 1,200 non-VIPs invited to spend the day outside St George's Chapel on Saturday, but Mail Online has found at least 25 of them are now being auctioned for between £25 and £420, along with a souvenir wedding order of service and welcome letter from Meghan and Harry. Other freebies included a bottle of Windsor Castle water, a giant chocolate coin, a tin of shortbread and a voucher for 20% off in the castle shop. These guests arrived at 9 a.m. to see 600 VIPs including the Queen, Prince Philip and Prince Charles, as well as the Clowonis, the Beckhams, Elton John and Oprah Winfrey turn up for the A-list wedding of the decade. And as 120,000 well-wishers fought for space outside the castle. These privileged 1,200 were able to get great views of the newlyweds as they kissed outside the chapel and paraded past in the Royal Ascot Landau carriage. But within hours of the event finishing, dozens of their free Hessian gift bags were being auctioned off to the highest bidder. Many of the sellers had clearly planned to do it in advance because they photographed the items outside St George's Chapel to ensure they looked genuine on eBay. And fierce bidding saw offers for one bag reach as high as £1,020. Harry and Meghan had wanted a people's wedding and 1,200 people were given a free goodie bag, but some have started to flog them off. Bids for items have now reached more than £1,000 even though they were handed out for free by Meghan and Harry. Guests invited by Meghan and Harry to see them marry are already cashing in by selling their gift bags on eBay for £400 or more. Guests arriving in the grounds of Windsor Castle passed tables where bags were handed out to each guest, but some have taken advantage of this generosity. The canvas bags had the happy couple's initials on the side and are being sold on the promise buyers will be getting a piece of royal wedding history. One seller said, "Buy a piece of history and memorabilia to celebrate a momentous special day for Britons and the royal family." Another hoping to cash in on the international market said, "I'm happy to send the gift bag internationally if you're happy to cover the postage." One later claimed they would donate the cash to charity, but had initially forgotten to mention it on their eBay posting. The bags contained a letter greeting the guests as they arrived. With this huge commemorative chocolate coin included an order of service badge, a handbag-sized shortbread packer, some water and a gift voucher were also among the freebies. Mail Online has found at least 25 listings ranging from between £25 and £420 put up by 1,200 invited to share the big day inside the castle grounds. Pictured today. It also emerged that an eBay seller is auctioning off PDFs of the royal wedding order of service, and incredibly more than 10 people have bought them for £5 each. This is despite the same thing being free to download via the royal family's website. The seller wrote, "Wondered what was in the order of service? This is a PDF version of the exact order of service. It will be sent direct to your email address once payment is received for you to view or print off to make your own copy." One seller is selling PDFs of the order of service for £5 when you can still get it for free via the royal family's website. It contains the page saying Thomas Markle would give away his daughter that could not be changed in time for the wedding, inviting 1,200 guests to get close to them. Was all part of Meghan and Harry's most diverse and royal rule-breaking wedding ever seen. The newlyweds shed tears, laughter and a passionate kiss in front of their hundreds of VIP guests. Dominated by Hollywood stars including the Clooney's, the Beckhams, Idris Elba, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Hardy, and James Corden. Elton John, who sang at Princess Diana's funeral in 1997, performed at the lunchtime reception hosted by the Queen in a poignant nod to Harry's late mother. All the senior British royals were also there to support the couple, including Her Majesty the Queen, Prince Philip, Harry's best man Prince William, and his wife Kate, who brought George and Charlotte but left baby Louis with the nanny. Meghan is the first mixed-race member of the royal family in an extraordinary journey for a girl born in LA to a white father and African-American mother who fought her way through the tough world of show business to land a plum role in the TV series Suits. Harry and Meghan's big day couldn't have been more different than royal weddings of the past, especially because the prince was visibly emotional throughout, and guests suggested it was the most diverse major event in the Queen's 66-year reign. The prince had looked tearful when he saw his bride for the first time, grabbing her hand, telling her, "You look amazing, I miss you," before tenderly lifting her veil. The new Duke of Sussex also said thank you, Pa, after his father Prince Charles walked the now Duchess of Sussex down the aisle of St George's Chapel, Windsor, having stepped in at the last moment for Meghan's father Thomas. Harry looked very emotional at points in the service, and several others in the congregation were in tears on their happy day. Harry and Meghan hold hands as they walk out of St George's Chapel after the wedding ceremony. A sea of smiling faces greets Harry and Meghan as they leave the church after the American-influenced service conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Laughter. One of the well-wishers in the crowds makes Meghan laugh and Prince Harry smile as they continue with their 25-minute tour of the royal market town. Meghan Markle told wedding guests, "I've found my prince," in an emotional speech after her ecstatic new husband said the support of his far better half meant he could finally be me. It was revealed today. The new Duchess of Sussex also thanked the Queen, Prince Charles and other senior royals for welcoming her so warmly to the royal family. The bride, resplendent in a white evening gown by Stella McCartney, took to the microphone after a private evening dinner thrown by Prince Charles at Frogmore House. Meghan's short speech was yet another part of her modernizing mini-revolution of the royal family, because royal brides usually leave it to the groom to address guests. The 36-year-old, who wore an aquamarine ring which belonged to Harry's beloved mother Princess Diana, ended her short address by declaring her deep love for Harry and said, "I have found my prince," according to the Daily Mirror. Before she spoke, Harry said his wife, brother, father and friends are the people that make me, in my Harry life, before adding, "Now I'm going to hand over to my far better half." Earlier he is also believed to have told his bride, "I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you." One source described how Meghan also expressed her gratitude at how welcoming the prince had been to both herself and her mother, Doria Ragland. She has been so touched by how welcoming the Prince of Wales has been. So is her mother, the source said. Honestly, they are touched beyond belief. It was important to her to make a point of thanking him publicly, although, of course, he knows privately how she feels. Another source said, "It is often said that he always wanted a daughter, and I think he has been really moved by how well they have got on. There is definitely a special connection there." Meghan's mother means more to her than anything, so it was lovely to see the way he was so welcoming to Doria too. Meghan and Harry looked like movie stars after they changed for the evening reception at Frogmore House. Harry and Meghan travelled in a Jaguar converted to electric power, which had a number plate with Saturday's date. Prince Charles had also paid tribute to his darling old Harry in an emotional speech that is said to have left the 600 guests, including Hollywood stars, in tears. Speaking at the afternoon reception at St. George's Hall in Windsor Castle shortly after they married, Charles told of how moving it was to watch youngest son get married. Charles, who walked Meghan to the altar, finishing by saying, "My darling old Harry, I'm so happy for you." Harry, 33, is also said to have given an off-the-cuff speech about how happy he was. He is also said to have turned to his guests and asked, "Can anyone play the piano?" Before Sir Elton John played a medley of your song, Tiny Dancer, Circle of Life and I'm Still Standing. Harry also said Meghan had navigated everything with such grace, adding, "We make such a great team." According to the Sunday Times, wedding guest Peter Fernhead, co-founder of African Parks, told the Sunday Telegraph, when Harry and Meghan came in, they stood on the podium and Prince William introduced them. Prince Charles made a really gracious speech. It was amazingly endearing. He's got a wonderfully dry sense of humor. Prince Harry was charming about Meghan. They are so clearly in love. We all had a tear in our eye. Later he whisked his bride away in an open-top Jaguar to head for a star-studded, champagne-fueled, black-tie reception for the bride and groom at the opulent Frogmore House in Windsor Great Park on Saturday night. The newlyweds were cheered wildly as they took to the floor with the funky soul classic Land of a Thousand Dances for their first dance at the spectacular royal wedding reception. Comedian James Corden is reported to have launched a dance routine with Harry, his brother William and his father Charles, apparently refereeing a dance-off, while George Clooney danced with both Meghan and Kate, after a very modern take on the traditional royal wedding. The late-night revelry followed suit, and those fortunate enough to bag a place on the ultra-exclusive guest list were treated to a night of risque speeches, wild dancing and plenty of stodger to soak up the alcohol. George and Amal Clooney were among the huge stars to celebrate with Harry and Meghan, with George dancing with the bride and Kate from left. Priyanka Chopra, Serena Williams and Jessica Mulroney show off the dresses they wore to the royal wedding party. Revelers watched the fireworks display over George III's former stately where the reception of Harry and Meghan took place. Exclusive details from inside the evening celebrations reveal that guests, including George and Amal Clooney, Sir Elton John and David Furnish and more glitzy actresses than an Oscars after-party, spent the evening sipping bespoke cocktails, tucking into dirty burgers and candy floss from outdoor stalls and dancing to a trendy DJ. It was, insiders say, the party to end all parties, with a carnival atmosphere in the grounds of the 230-year-old stately home, which once belonged to George III. Record viewing figures made Harry and Meghan's wedding the TV event of the year so far. It was watched by a peak of 13.1 million just after 1 p.m. on BBC One, making it the biggest peak figure so far in 2018, the broadcaster said. ITV's coverage peaked at 3.6 million. The combined average audience for BBC and ITV was around 11 million. But this was lower than the figure for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's wedding in 2011, which had a combined audience of 17.6 million, although this included people watching on catch-up. Charles and Diana's wedding was watched by more than 28 million in 1981. Saturday's FA Cup final averaged 6.7 million viewers and peaked at 8.7 million on BBC One.